Hey everybody, Stephen Evans here, and today I want to talk about how preparing to climb a mountain and financial planning are pretty similar. So recently I went and climbed a mountain out in Colorado. It was actually April of 2021, and it was with my buddies. They were training to climb Mount Rainier out in Seattle, and they wanted to get some practice in. So we drove out to Colorado, my buddy's RV. It was an awesome drive. It was fun hanging out with my buddies. These are my college buddies, so we had a great drive. It was fun. We get to Colorado, and we start planning the climb. So their climber, the guy who's doing Mount Rainier, gave them some advice on what to do and how they were going to do things, on how to prepare climbing a mountain. So as you know, I was a financial planner. My other buddy is a financial planner. So we're all planners, and I love a plan. So they said that we need to, have different layers of clothes. And the main thing they said is you want to go for 45 minutes and then take a 15-minute break, because that allows you to rest, you eat some food, you drink water, and then you follow this process along the way. So I was all on board because, I love breaks, and when I work out, I like taking a break and then working out again. So I was like, this is exactly what we need to do. So we go scope out the mountain the day before because we wanted to see where we needed to go. And we were climbing Mount Elbert, which is actually the tallest mountain in Colorado. And it was snow covered and pretty snowy because it was April. And it was pretty cold at the top. I don't know exactly how cold, but it was pretty cold. So we had all these different layers because when you start off at the bottom, it's warm. It's a lot warmer. So you have different layers of clothes. So it's kind of wild. But we went and scoped out the spot where we needed to park. And while we were up there, we ran into these two guys. And these two guys were Army guys. And they're like, oh, I climb mountains all the time. So we're like, oh, that's cool. And they're like, yeah, we're doing it in the morning. We're like, hey, we might see you. So we get home, we go have a nice dinner, and we go to sleep early because we had to wake up at 4:30 in the morning because we wanted to start about 6 a.m. So we get to the spot about 6 a.m., driving there, and we run into these two guys. And they were on the side of the road, and they hop onto the Jeep, and we drive them because they're walking from their campsite, which was, pretty far. So they hopped on the Jeep, and we all started at the same area. Well, we started walking, and we weren't really with them, and we kind of started going. We ended up getting off trail, and we got lost. And we end up running into them, and they're like, yeah, we think the trail's this way. We should all go together. So we're like, yeah, okay, we'll go together. So that's when things kind of got messed up because that was not our plan, was not to go with them. We had a plan we were going to follow. So we'd already been hiking for an hour, and we hadn't stopped yet. We hadn't taken a break. We hadn't followed what we wanted to do. And I was like, oh, this is not what we're planning. So then we hit an area because you had to wear snowshoes because the snow was so deep. And if you know me, I'm a big dude. So we hit this area, hiking up, where I fall through the snow. And I fall in about 6 feet into this snow. And I am chest deep. And I am trying to get out of this snow. And I could not get out. It was I am moving for 6 feet, just finally getting out. And I get a tree, and I'm able to climb myself out, and I am exhausted. I am covered in sweat because, I could not get out of the snow. I don't know if you've ever been in 6 feet of snow. It's not fun. So I can't get out of it. I finally get out of it. I am dying. And what happens? Those guys are like, well, time to go. So they just start taking up the mountain, and I get my snowshoes on. I'm behind them. I'm dying. We didn't take our break at an hour. So we continue to go, and I am tired. And I'm just okay, I'm going to push on. I'm not going to say anything. And I think that was one of my first mistakes is I should have been hey guys, we're planners. We need to stick to our plan. Because, with financial planning, if you go off course on your financial plan, you're not going to be able to reach your goals. And it's the same way with climbing a mountain. If you go off your plan, you're most likely not going to make it. So they just keep going for 2 more hours. So we were going for 3 hours, and we finally stopped to eat. But I was so far behind them because I was so tired because I didn't get to take a break and I hadn't eaten anything because I was trying to catch up to these guys. Well, I finally catch up to them, and they'd taken like a 10-minute break. I was 10, 15 minutes behind them. So they get up, and they're ready to go. So I like drink my stuff and have to keep going, and had no break. So then we just keep going, and we hit this one spot where it's like 1.5 miles straight up to, I think it was about 12,500 feet, and I'm dead. Like, my buddies are going. I am toast. Well, one of the plans was to change clothes, and during these breaks I had different socks. I had some different undergarments I was going to switch into. I just had a couple different things, because if I would have worn that when it was at the bottom and it was hot, like I'm a big guy, I would have sweated to death. So I never got to change into my other stuff, because they keep on plowing ahead. I probably should have stopped and taken things in control myself, but I wanted to catch them, so I kept chugging along, and they get to the top, and I get up there, and it is crazy windy and crazy cold, and they were probably 300 yards over. We were about 12,500 feet, and I was like, I'm done. I'm not going any further. My shoes were freezing. It was cold. The mountain looked crazy. I mean, there was like just winds blowing like so hard it could knock you over. It was like not cool. Well, I see them. I walk towards them. I wave, and I'm like, hey, you guys have fun. I had a great time. I'm going to go down where it's less windy and a little warmer. So I watched them. I think they stopped and finally took a break. It's like even like a 10-minute break. Well, they all start going again, and I'm heading down. And on my way down, because I was going slow because I was going to find a spot and watch them, on the way down, those two guys flew past me. They're like, oh, hey, there you are. Like, they're like, we're not going up to the top. We're done. I'm like, why are you done? They're like, oh, we weren't ready for it, and da-da-da-da-da. Well, they didn't have a plan. They weren't following it. They were just willy-nillying it. So these guys that we put our trust in, that we had never met, knew nothing about them, were just willy-nillying it. They just went up there, they were happy, and they went back. They had no plan. Well, my buddies kept going, and they've hiked up to about 13,300 feet. I watched them do it. My one friend was like shot. Just toast. My other buddy is like been doing jujitsu and swimming like 2 or 3 miles a day, and then running, so he was in like crazy good shape. He had no problem getting up there. Well, they get to the top, and it's cold. They're beat. We never took any rest, so they end up heading back. And I was so mad, because if I would have just followed my plan and known my body and known what I can actually physically do, I would have been able to be there with my friends. Because I've climbed mountains before. I've done this before. And I have to follow my pace. Well, financial planning is the exact same way. You've got to do with what you're able to do. You can't keep up with the richest people in the world, or the billionaires and all these things. You've got to do what you're capable of doing. You've got to work within your budget and your plan. And you've got to stay on course, because if you don't stay on course, you're not going to be able to make it. So if you have a plan, follow that plan and know the plan is going to work. Trust the plan, because planning does work. When we work with our clients and we're telling them to save a certain amount of money each year for retirement, we're telling them, here's how you fund your emergency fund. If anything along the way bad happens, they have life insurance, they have the emergency fund. We have contingency plans for all of the bad things that could go wrong in life. And we're going to get you there, because we're going to follow that plan, and we're going to stick to it, and we're going to meet year after year. So whether you're climbing a mountain or you're working on a financial plan, remember to stick to the plan. Even if it's, with these two guys, it's like, I want to get rich quick. I'm going to do this thing super fast. Well, slow and steady wins the race a lot of the times. So just remember to stick to your plan. And if you love this video, please like, share, send it out to the universe. We would love people to see our videos, and we can hopefully educate you. Stephen Evans, have a great one.